Hi, everybody. I'm Judy Sandrock, and I'd like to welcome you to our annual awards session for MaxIQ Space. We have a number of people still coming into the room, so if that's okay, we'll start in a minute. Welcome, everybody, to the MaxIQ Space Annual Awards. These are actually the inaugural awards, and the business started last year in January 2021, and this year we've decided to have some awards. And we are celebrating World Space Week, which is this week, 4th to the 10th of October, and the theme this year is Space and Sustainability. And we'll see later that we have a number of awards for challenges, for participants in challenges that relate to space and sustainability. Please feel free to use the chat section, and I have Bjarke Gottfredsen is my co-host today. So Bjarke, if you wouldn't mind just keeping things open for me. I find it difficult sometimes to see if somebody's raised their hand. So please feel free to interrupt me. Let's get into it. So our awards. We have awards for the best performer across all of the Space STEM programs from October 2021 to September 2022. The most collaborative and supportive of others on Discord. We run a Discord server in MaxIQ Space, so we're looking for that person who's most engaged. The top MaxIQ Facilitator. We have been soliciting participant feedback on all of our various programs, and to get this name for that award winner. And then we have the top submissions for the World Space Week challenges. I'm just, I have a strange noise in my ear. Bjarke, please let me know, is it feedback from me?
No, you sound fine.
Okay.
Everything is fine, thanks.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. Great. So our first award goes to Emmanuel Albert. Emmanuel was a participant in our Mission 1 last year, our Intelsat Space STEM Mission 1, and he has been on a number of programs since. So he has the award for the best performer across all Space STEM programs from October 2021 to September 2022. So Emmanuel, he joined us on Mission 1 last year, as well as Mission 2, which was a kit that went to the International Space Station and came back. He participated in that mission. He's also on the team, the Intelsat Africa team group for the Suborbital Launch Challenge, as well as participating in the World Space Week challenges. And we'll see a little bit later in terms of his participation. So very, very well done, Emmanuel. Then the most collaborative and supportive of others on Discord, Cody Harris, who is part of our team from Massachusetts in the USA. Cody is busy going through, and he's going to be able to announce that winner. And this is, I guess, more for the recording than anything else, is that Cody is going to be repeating this awards presentation tomorrow afternoon, US East Coast time, for those who haven't been able to make it. I also do realize that it's pretty early in California on the West Coast of the USA. Then the educator with the most student engagement goes to Cassie Zielinski. Cassie, I can see the picture of your puppy as a participant. So really, Cassie, well done, from Mountain View Elementary in Georgia in the USA. And we're going to see later the incredible collaboration amongst her students and their participation in all of the challenges that they decide to take on. Well done, Cassie. The top MaxIQ facilitator, based on the participant feedback, goes to Daniel Lee. Daniel, I'm not sure if you're with us. He's probably actually teaching right now. And so Daniel is he's based in Princeton in New Jersey. And not only is he a STEM teacher at his school and supports their space satellite club at the school, but he is also very involved with our suborbital launch program, and he's building our space STEM program. And so yeah, that's why I have this picture of C3PO, because this is a graphic that was actually designed by Daniel for a graphic artist to put his ideas into reality. So Daniel, well done. Now let's have a look at the different challenges, linking space and sustainability. So what we did is that a number of months ago, we launched a number of challenges for participants who have MaxIQ kits. And each of these challenges linked a particular sustainable development goal with a space application, whether that was collecting data from space, utilizing satellites, or designing orbiting space stations, lunar habitats, or habitats on Mars. So for Sustainable Development Goal number 3, which is good health and well-being, there are awards for the top 5 submissions, and the top submission was from Cassie's school, Mountain View Elementary. The students, they collected loads and loads of data relating temperature and humidity in amongst their school and their entire environments. The data tables that Cassie uploaded, just unbelievable. So much data was collected, and went through all of the submissions, and then the final submission was relating to the habitat that they would design. And it was actually all of the designs were taken and actually put into Minecraft. So we had in the video, we have a walkthrough of this habitat. So really incredible submission from Mountain View Elementary, from all of the students there. And then the runners-up were Grace Pakuda, Aisha Chateka, Tanya Chikori, and George Anaru. And they were working alone, on their own with their kits, and without the support of team members. So well done to those 4 runners-up. Bianca, are there any questions for me? Does anybody have their hand up or anything like that?
It looks fine all around.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. Sustainable Development Goal number 7, which relates to affordable and clean energy. We have awards for the top 3 submissions, and the top submission is from Karine Bokashanga, and Karine submitted a really, really interesting and valuable submission in terms of how affordable and clean energy, specifically solar power generation, could be rolled out in her community to, first of all, clean up the air, and also, second of all, save people a lot of money in terms of electricity costs. Corinne comes from a community in South Africa, and right now in the country, we are being hit by terrible power shortages. We have rolling blackouts. We have at least 2 hours without power every single day. And so this has a terrible impact on communities and on businesses. So Corinne's submission is very apt for the times that we find ourselves. Then we had runners up from 2 teams, from AATI number 7 on the west coast of Africa, and thanks very much to that team. Very interesting submission. What it is that the team have had one kit, and what they did is that they made sure that in different communities they were able to collect data relating to solar power generation, and where would they get the most return. In fact, where would they be able to harvest the most energy from the sun in their region. And also from Jim Gorman's team, from NIPMUC number 4 team, Alex, Derek, Liam, and Marcelo, and they submitted a really thorough report. What they'd done is they were very particular about it, and they had a protractor, and they measured the angle of the sun's rays to the board of the sensor. And what they did is that they gradually tilted the board. And so what they did is, as the angle changed off the perpendicular, they were able to track actually, in terms of temperature. So they were able to equate that to understanding, well, actually proving that the sun's rays should be perpendicular. And so their design for their submission included a motor, an electrical motor, that would then make sure that it turned and it oriented the solar panels in the perfect position to harvest the sun's rays. Number 15, Sustainable Development Goal number 15, Life on Land. 2 awards go out. It was actually really, it was neck and neck. So we weren't able to differentiate between these 2 teams. So that is why we are going to give 2 awards. And once again, from the West Coast, Cote d'Ivoire, AATI and team number 9, as well as Northern Caribbean University Space Advocates. Once again, very interesting projects where data was collected in a number of different locations, and measures to recommended in terms of decreasing soil erosion, coastline erosion. How can we clean up our atmosphere, reduce pollution from mining operations and big industry, so that life on land is a lot healthier for everything that lives, whether it is animal life, ourselves, plant life. Sustainable Development Goal number 9, Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure. This award goes to Grace Pakuda. Grace submitted a really interesting video as her final submission. What she'd done is she'd identified a garment factory in Cape Town, and she designed and implemented an Internet of Things solution to save costs and wear and tear on the sewing machines in the factory, There's also a problem with the needles. The needles themselves, what they do is that from the friction of going through the fabric, they actually heat up. And what can happen is that when they heat up too much, they can bend and they can break. I know this myself. I've been sewing, not an industrial scale at all, but I've been sewing since I was 7 years old, and I certainly do know that when one's dealing with heavy fabrics and running these machines, the needles do suffer. Also, the thing is that with the Cape Town being on the coast, there can sometimes be a problem with rusting and corrosion. So the humidity and the temperature combination is really, really important to manage, as well as the working environment for people, so that they are comfortable and so that they can feel relaxed and productive, instead of feeling that they're being too overwhelmed by an uncomfortable environment. And lastly, as well, is that the fabrics need to be preserved so that they don't get moldy from too much moisture in the storage environment. Grace's project was highly commended by the factory manager. He was very, very pleased with the results of the tests and with the outcome of the solution. And then for the space application, Grace extrapolated that solution to how this would work on Mars. And then when it comes to our final challenge, which was the mega challenge, Sustainable Development Goal 13, climate action. And this award goes to Emmanuel Albert, who I mentioned earlier as our top achiever over the last 12 months. And this was, we refer to this as a mega challenge because this was a challenge where one needed to have a solution that could serve two sustainable development goals. And so Emmanuel put together a really interesting submission, taking a number of the sustainable development goals and combining those. And Emmanuel, I hope that you will give me permission to share your video on our YouTube channel, because that is going to be very interesting for everybody to watch. George is based in Nigeria and Grace is based in South Africa, and they teamed up across the African continent and they did a joint submission. So Grace took some of the work that she'd been doing on one of the challenges, and George had taken the work that he'd submitted also in terms of one of the sustainable development goals, and they combined forces and produced a joint video. So well done to that. It's a really, really great example of collaboration. And then team AATI number 6, and once again from the west coast of Africa, of Cote d'Ivoire, and they put together a proposal in terms of climate action. They combined a number of goals, and once again, I would like to ask permission to share that video, because really, really very interesting. And what are the prizes going to be? What we're going to be doing is that after the session, we're going to be sending the prize winners some vouchers for our MaxIQ store. And that will be to be able to select some space STEM kits, perhaps some add-on sensors for the STEM kits, some advanced sensors like maybe a volatile organic compound sensor, accelerometer, barometer, a number of different sensors that we have that can be added onto the kits. We have a tiny GS add-on kit for those who already have the extended core, because perhaps you're participating in the suborbital launch challenge, so you will have that extended core. So we're looking at those tiny GS is a ground station network. that is a very much an open source community, collecting data from satellites and then sharing that with the community. And then also vouchers for program participation, because perhaps you have enough kit, but you would prefer to participate in more programs. Thank you very much for joining us, and well done to all of our prize winners. And what I'd like to do now is I'd like to open up for questions.